Okay, let's start loading the operating system. So I'm just doing it on my virtual box. So I've connected the image for Windows Server 2025. So now it's time to choose the language, time and currency. So the time currency, I will change it from US to UK, United Kingdom. And on the next screen, we have the keyboard or the input method. I will just leave it as United Kingdom. So if you are familiar with the installation of Windows Server operating systems, so you might have seen these two options. In addition, if you look at the previous version of the setup, we might also have options to upgrade from an existing operating system. So if you want to go to that, you can leave it, or else you can just go with install Windows Server. I will agree everything will be deleted, including files, apps, and settings, because I don't have anything on this system. It's a brand new installation. And it will try and load the list of options that we have. So currently we have got standard and data center. And on each of these version, you have got without experience and with desktop experience. So the without desktop experience is the server core option, where you won't get the graphical options. So for the data center evaluation, you need to have more drive space, because it will have additional applications, and it will have the full Windows graphical environment. So if you look at the graphical environment here, it will have the GUI, it will have the server manager and tools and option. But if you go and check the option for the server core, it's pretty much only the command line. So I will just give you a view of how it looks like. So you can use whatever commandlets or PowerShell commandlets that you are aware of, and you can get or fetch the system information like I've done here. So I've just got the computer information. So now we are planning to install the desktop experience standard evaluation. So that's what we are planning to install. So I'm choosing the standard evaluation desktop experience and go through the software license terms and conditions. And once you are done, you can click on accept. And then we will get into the partitioning. Now it is searching for the disk. Sometimes you might not get the disks listed here. If that is the case, you can go and load the driver which is appropriate to detect the disk. So load driver option is on the very top next to the refresh option. And once the driver is loaded, you can also give it a refresh on the left to see if the disks are coming up. So I've got 105 GB as an unallocated space. So you have the options to format and extend the partitions as well. But for now, I'm just going to create a partition with 100 GB capacity for the operating system. And as you might know, the listing is here on MB. So I give 100,000 MB and then give on apply. So it is equivalent to 100 GB. And automatically now you can see some more partitions getting loaded up. The default system partitions, the default system is 100 MB in size, and the MSR is somewhere around 16. I'll click on next. So let it install the operating system on that particular 100 GB partition. So it is not going to have anything. So I'm just saying keep nothing, and is going to install the operating system. So as part of this installation, there will be multiple reboots happening. This might take some time. This might take a while. So I will just fast forward it so that we get into the okay. Now after that, we can customize the setting. There is no option to rename the local built-in administrator. We just have to give the password. The local administrator will be administrator. Just giving some standard password, which is complex enough. Click on finish. Once after this is done, it will take us to the login screen, and we will just wait for the login screen to come up. And once it is there, we will enter the password by clicking on Control Alt. So it will prompt for the password. I'm just entering it. So the first time the user profile service will load up, it will take a couple of seconds for the first time, and the server manager should come here. But before that, there is an option where we can also agree for what we could send as a diagnostic data to Microsoft. So I'm just going to choose only the required only diagnostic data to be sent to Microsoft. I'm not going to send everything. So the server manager is available. So I can just close the server manager pop-up so that I can adjust what I have got on the server manager screen. So you can also manage through the Azure Arc. I will share what we could do in another session. I'll hide this welcome screen so that I have a clear view. So there are a couple of red icons that are there like services and so on. So let's do one thing. I will just click on refresh and let it take some time to see if it changes, or else I'll just go to the local server and then check on. Okay, so currently it has got a default computer name, and before changing anything, I will try and configure the Ethernet IP address for the environment. So I'm using a range of 192.168 1 dot series. So for this particular system, I will just assign the IP address. So it does support IPv4 and IPv6, as you could see under the Ethernet section here. I'll just click on the IP version 4 hyperlink. So it has taken me to the NCPA network connection console. I'll just click on properties, select IP version 4, Internet Protocol version 4, and then I'll just enter the IP address. Currently, it is dynamically assigned. Now I'm just going to change it to 192.168 1.101. So I'll just leave the default subnet mask 255, 255, 255.0, and then I will configure the gateway 192.168 1.254. So I want this machine to connect to the internet. I will use the global Google DNS server 8.8.8.8. Select OK. I'm not going to disable IP version 6. I'm going to leave it. So now I can just give it a refresh and check if things have changed. So currently the Windows update is okay. So I'll change the time zone. It is currently configured for US Pacific. I will change it to London time. So let me go and search for the London time. Okay, yeah, so UTC plus 0, Dublin, London. Okay, click on OK. Now on the top, I could see Windows Update is configured for download updates only. So what I can do is I'll just go to the SC config. So the sconfig is the server configurator where I can just go and get the option selected for the Windows Update. So I will choose option 5, select manual, option 3, and then I can just go on, click enter. So I will just enter 15 to exit the command line, and I can just go and check like what is the option now, give it a refresh. It should okay, and before that I will also change the computer name. So currently it has got a default win-buc. So click on the computer name. I will change it to server 1. Yeah, so let me change, click on change and then enter the server name. I will just remove this, enter server 1, click on OK. And this needs a reboot. So you must reboot your computer to apply the changes. Yeah, I'll say close and then restart. Let's wait for a couple of seconds for the system to get rebooted. And once after there, it is like the errors has gone now. It's all green. Yeah, beautiful, looks pretty much green, and the option has changed. The computer name looks fine, and you can just go and update the system if you want to update it. So on the right, you have the option called Windows Update, and you can just select on let me just go to command prompt and then check what is the current status on this particular machine. So it says, okay, 24H2, this is the build version. So I can go to the Windows update. Now let's say what are the updates ready to install. So there are a couple of install updates that we could install. So I will just go and install the Windows malicious software removal tool. If you want to install all of them, you can also go and get them installed. So there are a lot of good options here, unlike the previous version. So you have the options to go and check when was the previous update. The complete update history is here. You can go and verify what are the list of updates that we have done. and then what are the different type of updates we have done here, definition update or security update. And there are certain options which is helpful for optimizing and not disturbing the WAN circuit or the network. So here you can select what is your active hours. So during this time, they won't reboot the system even if there is a pending update. So, but you can also enable notification when a restart is required to finish the updates. You can also select download updates over the metered connection. So that way it will have data charges. Okay. And if you look at here, this is where you have the optional update where you can just go and filter down which are all the feature or quality updates that are missing on your system. And you can also install the driver update if in case you want to. But by default, it gets the security updates and the tools are loaded. And this is where you go and configure the bandwidth limits. So if you want to restrict the usage of the network, and this will help us to have a delivery optimized. And you can also have the applications automatically restarted when you sign in and restart. So here is where you can go and configure the update policies. So currently it is controlled through the group policy, but if you want to change it, you can just go and get this changed. Okay, let's see how the update is progressing. It has updated, so we can close this.